What's up, y'all? We are back, episode 22 of the Colorado Rockies Out of the Park Baseball 24 series, and coming off a World Series championship for the first time in franchise history. This is the team that did it. As you can look through, we had our stars up there at the top, and then Evan Rayford, I think, pitched 7 games for us, and then Casilla. These guys are still valuable, but yeah, good to get Tanner Witt a World Series ring. He was our first draft pick in the series. Although he didn't contribute much, it's good to see him kind of come full circle here and kind of lead us to the promised land in some regards. So I have gone through and offered arbitration contracts to these guys, or the guys that are under control through arbitration. So that's all good and dandy. The only guys that I'm gonna non-tender are gonna be Palma, who is a fine backup catcher, but he's just going to make $2.6 million. And then Parker Meadows, who, $3.6 million for a fourth outfielder / defensive replacement guy, who I wouldn't start if we had an injury or anything. That was just an easy decision for both of them. So I didn't look around for trades for Palma, but we'll get to that, at some other point. Actually, I think I did. I don't think there was anything interesting. So we do have one trade to kick off the offseason. So we have a lot of infield depth in the high minors, and I'm looking to clear some of it out. So Braden Holcomb's kind of that guy. He's 26, has one option year left, so that's not a big deal. But he only plays third base. I guess he could play first and maybe a little bit of second, but he doesn't play the corner outfields very well, and we need that in our park. So he wasn't horrible last year, unplayably bad, but he's 26 years old. Actually, this is kind of sad. Day after his 26th birthday, we're going to trade him. But, at some point, these potential ratings are just not attainable. So at 26 years old, I'm willing to bank that he's not going to reach that. And, this is still a fine, replacement level guy. But at this point, I'm willing to move on from him. He got his ring with us. He was our second pick we took in this series with that supplemental first. Forgot what are those for? Anyway, doesn't really matter. But yeah, we're gonna move on from him and Chris Caldwell, who we got in trade for Texas. I think this is kind of a salary dump thing. It was Victor Juarez at the deadline, so we traded him. So that was in the offseason. He actually wound up having a pretty decent season over in Texas, which is not surprising. He's a good pitcher. And Will Matusik, who is a fine player, but we got Caldwell and Gary Rodriguez, who wound up being the gem of this trade. But Caldwell was a throw-in, and now we're gonna flip him for a couple decent prospects. Not anything groundbreaking, but Chase Bentley. He was one of a few prospects that I liked that were out there in trades for Holcomb. There was another pretty decent relief prospect, but I like Bentley's ability to maybe start for us if we need a guy, maybe a long reliever, mop-up guy. He's not eligible for the Rule 5 draft, so that's big. And then he has 3 option years, obviously. So could be a long-term piece as a swingman, 5th, 6th starter type. And then this guy, Chad Delancey, I got them to throw him in. 24-year-old. He is eligible for the Rule 5, but I probably won't protect him. Our 40 minutes kind of filled up right now, but it might clear up by the time the offseason comes around. But insane walk rates and strikeout rates. Yeah, he's a 24-year-old playing an A-ball, but I'll probably start him in high A, double A probably next year, probably double A, and we'll see what he can bring in. They also chipped in $5 million cash. I don't like trading within division, but with Holcomb, I'm confident enough that he's not gonna come back and burn us, hopefully. So. And the Dodgers are rebuilding, which is interesting. I think they finished last in our division. They did. This division that was once formidable is kind of fallen down just a bit. So the Padres are still a good team, but the Giants and Dodgers may be looking to rebuild here. After throwing out some bad contracts, I would assume, in the past couple of years. This is the trade. We'll move ahead instead of spending more time on that. So how does the team look going in the offseason here? So I guess we should assign those guys to their minor league teams. It's one thing I'll forget to do, and then there are guys playing like in rookie ball that shouldn't be there, and it's a whole thing. But where the heck did this trade go? Maybe it wasn't even announced. It should have been. Ton of firings in the league. Okay, here we go. So Bentley, his pitch in high A was very good. I'm gonna put him in triple A. I think he's ready for that. Or maybe it'll put him in double A to start. He'll be a quick guy to move up though. And then Delancey's 24. I'm gonna put him right into double A. So both those guys go there. Holcomb goes to the Dodgers along with Chris Caldwell, who's more organizational depth, like I said. So where does that leave our team? So I've kind of already set our depth charts moving into the offseason. So this will be like our main depth chart here. So this is kind of what it's looking like. Every position's pretty much set. I'm going to bring Langford back. He'll probably be my fourth outfielder. His defense isn't great, and he hasn't really hit since 2028, but I still like his ratings, and he just went, was it fourth overall in the draft? That just happened yesterday. So, I like White Langford, so I'm going to keep him around as our fourth outfielder. Then Krebs and Cunningham will kind of split time at second, although Cunningham kind of won out that spot, in my opinion, last year. And then Betancourt will be back as our DH. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year. His contact ratings did go up just a bit, so very happy with that. That was in our June update. And, he's still a good hitter. And these ground ball guys always hit really well in our ballpark. Our outfield's set. Blyce is a guy we could look to upgrade at some point, but he'll be back for another season. The Mooney, Wolkow, and Griffin will be in the infield. And Romo behind the plate, getting expensive. I think we have one more year of control. I believe this is our last year that we have him around. Could be wrong about that, though. Nope, we have next year, too. Oh, that is next year. So this is the last year for Romo. Alvarado will hit free agency this offseason. McClanahan we have for another season. And then, that's pretty much it. Efros, Olsen are gone this offseason, whatever. But yeah, McClanahan and Romo will be our big losses next season. Then Mooney's shortly after, but besides that, this team's locked up for the long run. And I'm pretty excited about it. So we're going to move ahead to award season and come back in just a second. All right, so let's hop into awards here. So Gold Gloves, we have a couple here. So Drew Romo at catcher, he's won his fair share, 2026, 2027, 28, 29, and 30. So 5 straight Gold Gloves for Drew. Kason Cunningham gets his first at second base. An awesome defensive season, 11.1 zone rating, just 93 games, which is incredible. He'll definitely be back and at that spot. Alex Mooney, our shortstop, with a 19 zone rating, takes it at short. This up the middle, we are pretty incredible. 3 Gold Glovers at catcher, second, and short, who are probably the 3 most important positions, maybe center field, but we get away just fine with Churrio out there. So there's the Gold Gloves. Chivilli and Alvarado finish 4th and 5th, respectively, for reliever of the year. Chivilli, an insane season. I don't know how he didn't get more love than this, but, Morgeron was good. Rangel, Cam Robinson probably deserved it, but, Chivilli had an insane season, fueled by this ridiculously low BABIP, but then Alvarado also had a respectable season for what he brought. So, NL Silver Sluggers, ton of guys from our division. Juan Soto for the Padres, Merrill for the Padres as well, and then, Blaze Alexander for the Diamondbacks aren't in our division, but, a ton of former NL West teams here. And Zach Veen gets it in left field, so happy for him there. Connor Griffin runs away with Rookie of the Year, although this guy for the Padres finished second Although I don't know how, or I don't know how he got three first place votes from Griffin. Griffin was insane. Um, Griffin, if he didn't play so much outfield, I think he would have been better, but he was still fine out there. Then Todd Helton, our manager, wins Manager of the Year. So happy for Todd in his third season with the squad. Um, I don't even know if I ever mentioned I hired him. I think I did. That was a couple episodes ago. And then the big one, Ford Thompson wins NL Cy Young. So, a 20th round pick in 2024 burst onto the scene. Really last season, he came up for a couple starts and was really good. And then this year, 14 Ks per nine, just an absurd season from Ford. So, I don't even think he qualifies for the ERA crown. I think it has to be over the amount of games pitched. You have to have an inning for each game played to qualify for it. But regardless, he wins Cy Young, despite starting the year in our bullpen. So pretty incredible. And then AL Cy Young, MVP was Alex Rodriguez again. That's his second. Pretty awesome season for him. And then NL MVP, Alex Ramirez. That's his first in his career, despite putting up some insane numbers for this Diamondback squad. We're Zach being a sandwich between Jordan Lawler, who has won a couple MVP, or he won last year MVP, and then Corbin Carroll as well, who I thought was falling off, but his ratings aren't that impressive, but he's still been like an awesome player throughout his career, 121 career WRC plus, and so Zach Veen does finish second after a really nice season. I think he was on pace for like 45 home runs at one point. That was never really gonna sustain itself, I don't think. So wound up putting up a 150 WRC plus, read his career number pretty much, and then he's racked up 37 WAR through his age 28 season. So Hall of Fame trajectory possibly. I don't know what really gets you in this game, but I'll certainly vote for him. Then like Dylan Cruz, some of these other guys finished down the ballot. Churio was our next guy up. Where the heck was he? Here he is. 64 votes, and then Connor Griffin finished right behind him. Ford Thompson a couple spots back, and we get a bunch of guys who get MVP votes. So we will head into free agency and kind of move on from there. I didn't offer these guys contracts. Oops, but I did. So we'll offer Rodriguez and Cleveland. He has another option here if I need to use it, but we'll bring him back for now. I mean, 2.4 is not really a ton for what we have to spend this offseason. So, okay, and I offered extensions to these minor league guys, and we should be good. So, let's head into free agency here. We'll do this on camera, I guess. I don't really know what we have for needs this offseason. Like, I guess like a fifth starter. I don't know if Ryan Wald's going to cut it. He did win. He went 14-4, but the ERA is well below average, and I guess he had a good year last year. I'd probably roll him out there again, but at this point, like, we might be cutting losses with him. It just goes to show you there's never a pitching prospect in Major League Baseball. Even if the guy seems like a sure thing, and, Ryan Wald did seem like it at the time. I signed. But, these guys, they're so volatile. Hitters are as well, but not nearly as much. What does Olsen want? Yeah, no chance. Okay, so head to free agency here. Looks like Vaughn Grisham's the guy demanding the most. Corbin Carroll coming off a really nice finish to last year, demanding close to $30 million a season. So let's hop into this, and this guy looks pretty nice. Not going to sign him, but where was he playing? He's playing indie ball last year. Wow. Good for him. He might get a nice contract. So, Vaughn Grisham, we don't really need any hitters. I think we're good. Unless there's a nice fourth outfielder I like. We're kind of stacked. Max Meyer. Dude just keeps getting put out in free agency right now. Matt Brash would be an interesting pitcher. I know he usually does well. in this game, but he also has no stamina anymore, so he's just a reliever. Emmanuel Clase, I tried to sign or trade for him at the deadline. Didn't really work out. Alvarado wants another huge contract. Old friend Tyler Owens still kicking it. Yeah, I mean, what does our bullpen look like here? So we're pretty much filled up as it stands right now. Like Garcia's back. I think he'll be better than he was last year. This home run rate can't sustain it over two. Tanner Witt, I'm gonna give him a shot as like a middle relief guy. Jackson Cox will be back as of now. Maybe Witt will be my long guy. Cox might play up better as a short outing guy with the two good pitches. Witt's more of like a multiple pitch guy. I mean, this bullpen looks pretty good. Do we have depth? We have Reifert down here. Oh, man, this guy got a shoulder injury. That sucks. Let's just call everyone up so we see what we got. Cody Schreier's still on my 40-man. Yeah, that he really hasn't made an impact since his rookie year. Coy James, I'm still excited for, but he got hurt at the end of the season, and I couldn't call him up. Trey Snyder, Brandon Windcourt. Yeah, we have just a ton of infield depth here. So I think Windcourt, yeah, he can play some corners. I might move him to just the outfield permanently. Yeah, he's a good corner guy, so let's pretend like Windcourt, he's a utility guy, but I'm going to put him out in right field for now. Trey Snyder, I'm excited for. Could be like a league average bat and a good defender around the infield. Cody Schreier, the luster has kind of fallen since he was like a pretty good hitter in AAA a couple years ago, but he's barely touched the majors since then. Zach Wattis, I'm excited for, but I don't know where he gets playing time unless Betancourt gets hurt again. So with our catching situation, Chilcutt will be up. He's ineligible for the Rule 5, so maybe I'll wait on that. They'll give like Brooks Wright or one of these other guys a shot. We'll have a spring training competition for that. JD Hawley is eligible for the Rule 5, so we'll have to put him on the 40. So get that out of the way. And then Bednick as well. We'll be adding him. And then Jonathan Blevins, who's a former second-round pick. It's kind of flamed out in the upper minors, but he's eligible. Maybe I'll leave him unprotected. He's 26 at this point. I don't think I could afford to waste another 40-man spot on that. And Jaime Cooper's not eligible yet, so we're good with that. But he'll be up in AAA start the year. I gotta go through the minor leagues and everything, but yeah. So Reifert, I hope he has another option here. He does. That's good. McConnell does not, so he'll be needed to be on the roster the whole season. Casilla has options, and Becerra does not. That's tough. So we got some decisions to make with these like last bullpen spot. We'll figure that out as the offseason continues. But yeah, we'll cut out and come back when something happens here. All right, so we have another trade to announce this offseason. I guess the second trade. The Holcomb one happened right at the beginning of the offseason. But we are going to be giving up a couple of major league talents for what I think could be a top-of-the-rotation starter. So I'm just going through like the top pitchers in the league and everything, and Christian Little was a name that came up. He was like, I don't know, he's ranked like 15th best pitcher in the league or something, and I really like his ratings. I think the stuff, that's kind of like the biggest part of Colorado, is just having a ton of good stuff, and we saw it work with Thompson here, and what's his name, right? I'm just imagining that. Yeah, Fort Thompson. And I think Christian Little's pretty much like the same pitcher from the right side. Yeah, they're strikingly similar. I guess Little actually has some better pitches, but yeah, I mean, the stamina's 45, whatever. Like, we can get away with that, throwing 90 pitches a game, but a pretty decent return they're getting. So they really wanted to try to pry like Cesano was the guy they wanted. Where the heck did he go? Definitely missed him. He's a 50 potential. All right, let's go down to. I believe I just brought him up to. Did I bring him up to Double A? He must be in High A. Yeah, so they really wanted Oliver Cesena, who is our big international signing guy in 2027. Hasn't really done much in pro ball, and the potential is not quite there anymore. But like, I think there's still a good player here. He has the high work ethic, high intelligence, and like our scout, he's definitely down on him, but like this is still a good player. And the big thing, like I was ready to give him up, but I saw he can actually play some outfield, and I think he'd be a really fun super utility guy to bring along here. So we're gonna try to keep him. We're gonna go with some major league talent instead. So Ben Krebs, who at this point is 27 years old, and he's a pretty nice player, but coming off like a couple nice years for us as well. But like I don't think he's any more than like a 2.5 win player. He'll play a good second base, but we have Cunningham who's gonna be in that spot. And I like Cunningham a bit more than Krebs. So they're getting a controllable second base / shortstop guy. Fly ball hitter. He's hit well for us, but we have depth up there in the upper minors and in the major leagues. So that was a position I was willing to dip into instead of going to Cesena. And Derek McConnell, who I like quite a bit. High leader, high intelligence. Like this is all good stuff. He's out of options, which is kind of the thing that pushed me here to give him up. I think he could be a really good pitcher. Like Toronto's getting a good arm here for sure. But I just really don't have a spot in my bullpen for him at this point because this is going to probably kick Reinwald to the bullpen, as well as like, we're pretty much filled up in there. So, with Tanner Witt coming back this year and, so we're like giving up a pitcher for a pitcher basically. And then Krebs is like a roster spot is it for a pitcher for another roster spot for a pitcher. And then Ben Krebs, who is a little redundant with some guys we have, and a little bit older. So we're gonna pull off this trade. We get another like arm that I think can hit well or pitch well in Colorado. So we'll go to the DFA section, Christian Little, and he will probably slot in. I mean, this is a pretty formidable rotation at this point. How did he do last year? He was a good pitcher. This is like probably the best rotation in baseball. If Philpott comes through and he pitches like how I think he can, this is probably the best rotation in baseball, led by Ford Thompson and probably Christian Little there. And then McClanahan, he's highly paid, but he's still a good arm. And Chris Wood's probably the best 4-starter in baseball. And then Philpott, young, exciting. So, and then Reinwald, like he's probably a starter on any other team in baseball, but he'll be in the bullpen for me, at least to start the season. He'll fight for. I don't even know if he'll make my team, honestly. He has options, so we'll have to see what happens with that, and hopefully that all just plays out. But yeah, this is the bullpen we'll probably go with. I don't think we're going to sign anyone else. We have a ton of money to spend, but there's nowhere to spend it really, unless I want to go give Jose Alvarado another $20 million contract. But actually, Morejón won or finished second in reliever of the year this year. Could be an interesting arm to add. I don't know. Maybe. I don't really want to bargain bin Hunter or anything, but I mean, there are some guys in the trade block that I really like, and I would love to get my hands on. Like Andres Munoz, like this is my ideal closer. Unfortunately, he has 10-5 rights and does not want to leave Seattle at this point, so can't trade for him. Camilo Doval just tore his rotator cuff. Not really interested in that. Mike Burrows I tried to trade for. Way too expensive for a rental. And that's the thing about Christian Little. He's not just a rental. He only has 4 years of Major League service, so we have him for 3 more seasons, at least 2 more. I also might drop down the free agent years to 6 after next season. We'll see what happens with that. The 7 was fine, but there's not really any like eye-catching free agents at this point. It's I don't know, mix it up a little bit. So, my point being that I don't like a lot of these arms. Munoz would be the guy, but he doesn't want to leave. So yeah, winter meetings are over, and we'll probably head to the next event that happens here. So we'll be right back. All right, so time for the Rule 5 draft here, and we have a pretty significant trade, I guess. So we have to clear a 40-man spot. We have a bunch of guys to add this offseason that I didn't really realize at the time when I started the offseason. But Jackson Cox, he's been around the team for a long time. He's one of the holdovers from, he was a second-round pick in 2022, right before we started, and has been a good pitcher, definitely, for us over the parts of 3 seasons now. But, he's probably replaceable. He's a 2-pitch guy. I mean, the changeup's fine, but the movement's not really there. He does walk way more guys than I expect out of him. And he's still only 27, so there's plenty of time for him to come in and dominate us for the Padres. But we have to clear a 40-man spot, and he was the guy, I guess, that kind of stuck out. So in return, we'll get Juan Lozoya, I think. Hit really well in Double-A last year as a 23-year-old. Not eligible for the Rule 5, so we can just stash him for at least this season. He'll probably be eligible next year, I'd imagine, as a 2028 pick. But for now, we will complete this trade. Unfortunately, Jackson Cox moving on to division rival Padres, but we'll see what happens. I also waived DFA Cody Schreier. I presume he will wind up on my AAA team after the Rule 5 is complete. So, or at least in my minor leagues. I don't know if it'll be in AAA, but so Cox goes to San Diego, and we pick up Juan Lozoya. And the Rule 5 draft is here, so actually we have to finish this out. So I signed this guy to a minor league deal, Domingo Flores. He's a nice player. If he gets picked in the Rule 5, I'm going to, deal with that. The guy I wanted to add was Guadalupe Cordero here. Pretty nice infield prospect. I'm going to leave Jonathan Blevins unprotected. The defense isn't there enough to support this bat, so if he gets picked, I'll be fine with that. We signed Max Clerk to a minor league deal. Former number 3 overall pick. I'm going to leave him unprotected. If he gets signed, it is what it is. We signed a bunch of other guys. Actually, Connor Stain's a nice pitcher, but he's 29. I'll roll the dice, hope he doesn't get chosen. But yeah, we added a bunch of guys. Phil Cates, former second round pick with a nice pitch mix. I have to add him to the high A team. I did all the hitting already, but I didn't do the pitchers for realigning our rosters. Joe Wallace I added. He'll be up in high A this season. Grant Seelig, who's turned into a nice prospect after being an 11th round pick back in 2025. He's added to the roster. This guy, Artiston Vesvizi. High work at high intelligence. We got him in a trade in 2020. What year was that? 2029. This is for Zamaripa, who was sitting in our minor league system for a while. He actually got up to the majors, but we picked him up in that trade. He's added to the 40-man as our third catcher, I guess, and then Ermino Toto is ready to be added as well. So, that's pretty much, we had to add a bunch of guys this offseason and kind of limiting what we can do as well, roster-wise. So, we will move ahead. Looks like there's a bunch of good arms here in this draft. So, see if anyone gets taken. That's good. Anyone notable? Rob Ford. Okay. Angel Zerpa. Where the heck do I recognize this name from? Is he in the Twin Series or something? I'm not sure. Bryce Miller, 32 years old. Okay. But yeah, we have no room on the roster, so we can't pick anyone anyway. So we're just going to complete the draft, and then we'll be back in just a moment with anything else that happens this offseason. Or, we'll be back at some point. Okay, so we have some smaller news to announce. International free agent signing period just happened. So Luis Ramos, we signed to a $5 million signing bonus. Wasn't the guy I wanted initially, but I'll kind of show you what happened. So Where is he? This guy, Luis Castillo. This is the guy I wanted. This is, the guy. So I offered him double what he was asking, and then Oakland just freaking bid me up, and it was over. I couldn't get any more money from anyone. It's like impossible to trade for international money. So we wound up signing a consolation prize. I mean, Ramos is still an awesome prospect, but not the guy I wanted initially. We signed another couple of guys, David Nevejas, decent little bat there. Jesus Estrada, another not good but not great guy, and then we got this catcher who I really like, Juan Ferman. Pretty decent bat, and some good, high work ethic, high intelligence, high adaptability, stuff like that. So we decided to go that route. I couldn't get any more budget money, so we went with some good quantity as well as quality player as well. So we have about $300,000 left. I might just try to throw a dart here at someone. This guy's interesting at the high range. Let's do this. So try to get him for 3, and then we're at the preseason, so we'll see who's available. I mean, Jose Alvarado is still here. I think we might wind up signing him to another 1-year deal for the 3rd consecutive season. After he put up pretty much identical years, which is funny. But yeah, I'll jump back with any more news in just a quick second. All right, so we are back here, and it's opening day, April 3rd, 2031. Wrapping up the offseason here. Our new goal for our owner is to reach the playoffs. We want more than that, obviously, but that's what our owner wants of us. And let's go to who made the roster. So no real surprises here in the pen. We did wind up re-signing Jose Alvarado to a 1-year, $18 million deal. We had the money, and I wound up just giving him a 1-year deal again. So rest of the bullpen, pretty standard. Reinwald makes the team after a pretty good spring. Him and Tanner Witt are former top 2 drafted pitchers in the save in our bullpen this season. So also, I increased our scouting budget and development budget. I don't know when we got when you're able to increase, we were able to go over $50 million for our development. So I want to put a bunch of money into that. We still have a bunch of money available as well. That's not even after I'm going to increase our ticket prices. Now with our fan interest being higher. And for the batters, Coy James makes the team as our backup infielder. Got a little bit of time in 2029. Did not get in the majors last year, but he'll make the opening day roster. Wyatt Langford, our backup outfielder to begin the year. Daniel Covett also makes it. And then our former 2nd-round pick in 2028, Masato Chilcutt, he will make it as our backup catcher, playing pretty often every 4th game here. So this is kind of what the depth charts look like. I didn't set our lefty one. It was a mistake. Honestly, it'll probably be similar. We're going to put Covett at DH against lefties, but I still want Betancourt playing every once in a while. So maybe every 5th against lefties, and something like that maybe for a lineup. Cunningham will still lead off, I think. He doesn't have any crazy splits or anything, so we're cool with him leading off. So we'll go through opening day here, and we win 5-3. So Zach Veen gets hurt for a couple days. He'll be fine, I think. His ratings did drop, which is interesting. We win 5-3. Betancourt, in his return, 3 hits, 2 ribbies. Cunningham looks like he had a home run to lead off the season. That's very cool. And we were on the road, too, so that's awesome. And Ford Thompson, a nice start. The bullpen does a good job. We'll go through the opening series. Game 2 in LA. We lose 5-2. A couple of multi-hit games from Griffin, Mooney. Christian Little, not horrible, but Cleveland and Shavili not able to pick up the slack there. So Game 3 looking to take the series. McClanahan on the mound, who would win 9-4. Cunningham, 3 hits, 3 ribbies. Looks like he has his second home run of the year already, despite not being a power hitter, obviously. And Connor Griffin also has 1. And Mooney, another 2 hits. So McClanahan gives us a nice start, and Tanner Wick to close it out. So that'll wrap up the off-season episode. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time in episode 23. Goodbye.